With the prospect of our nation's first African-American president or first female vice president at hand, we think it's a good idea to take a look back at another history-making presidency, that of our first white male president. And by that I mean our first president. Gather round. It's story time. Tonight's story comes from the book More Information Than You Require, the latest in fake trivia from the illustrious, mysterious, enigmatic, and very good-looking John Hodgman. We pick up the story after an effort has been launched to make General George Washington King of America. But Washington would not be king. He was at once a Virginian aristocrat and a toothless farmer. And so the nation would find in him the compromise they sought, a bewigged half-sultan whose powers would be carefully checked and balanced by those of Congress and the Supreme Court, but who would all the same wear white pancake makeup and have hemophilia. John, you make up great stuff.
Oh, I didn't make any of it up, though. That's largely true. They did. There was a movement to make a king of America, you know.
There's just enough true in the book to be very alarming with things like that.
That's true. I aim to alarm. It's very nice to see you.
It's nice to see you, too.
You did a wonderful reading. Will you read on my book tour?
I would love to,
because
actually.
I would like to stay home.
John Hodgman is the author of More Information Than You Require. You may know John as the PC from the I'm a Mac and I'm a PC ads. He's also The Daily Show's resident expert on everything from elitism to oil addiction to spirituality. You may also know him from the public radio juggernaut that is This American Life, and the new book, More Information Than You Require. John, you essentially have made a living being sort of a fake expert.
Yes, that's correct. It's a good job, too, let me tell you. It requires very little research.
How much real goes into being fake so that your fake trivia and your fake expertise alarms people about the real world?
Well, the first place you look for fake expertise is in your own brain. All of the half-truths and received wisdom that have sort of gotten in there through people telling you things that aren't true and stuff you maybe learned in school, like legends, for example, about George Washington chopping down a cherry tree. That was the beginning of fake expertise in this country. It was all a complete fabrication by Parson Weems' fake biography, which is now part of the American biography, as it were. So you start by just thinking, what is it that I think I know? And then you say that with a very straight face. And often it's just bogus, of course. And then when you run out of fake stuff in your own head, that's when you turn to the internet, of course.
I feel like what you've just done, though, is you just impersonated a 2008 campaign consultant. What do people believe that is totally untrue, but they've got sort of a prejudiced inkling toward it that I could say with a straight face and capitalize on politically?
Absolutely.
That seems like the same way of thinking that drives us to what this fact-free campaign we've had.
It's storytelling, do you know? And jokes are perhaps the shortest stories that there are in the canon of fiction. But then, you know, political smears are probably the longest lasting. We will remember them forever.
Yes, if only because we can't get the smell of them off our clothes.
Yes, indeed.
Did Sarah Palin's appearance on Saturday Night Live this weekend do her some good politically, do you think?
Well, I don't know. You know, I only watched little snippets. I turned it on for a second and I couldn't watch anymore.
Why not?
Well, I feel like I have been asked to watch her reinvent herself a couple of times now. I've been asked to see her finally show who she is. What I saw was, you know, someone who's very comfortable in front of the camera. She can do this very well, do you know? But, you know, I feel like she's had her chance to show me who she really is, and I'm not seeing any more at this point. So I didn't want to see another reinvention necessarily, and, you know.
One thing that has struck me about Sarah Palin's, I guess, introduction to the American people, an introduction to the polity, is this idea that her own belief and insistence that she is qualified for the job that she is seeking is itself supposed to be evidence that she is qualified.
Well, I mean, that's been a hallmark of the past 8 years of polity, exactly. It's this magical thinking. If I say it is so, it must be true. Yeah. If I say that I mean, look, she's a capable governor, it would seem. She won that election. She's very well supported in Alaska. But just because of that, it does not automatically make her a national figure. The biggest failing, of course, is her inability to speak on a national media stage. She had no experience. It's nothing against her. She'll probably get the experience eventually and be very good at it. But that Katie Couric interview revealed what was irredeemably true about her, which is she just hadn't done it before. And you can't pretend that you've done it before and fake your way into a job of that caliber.
And it is sort of part of the job. You do have to be able to explain yourself in cogent terms to members of the media in order to be an effective president.
One of the reasons I find this election so exciting as a fake expert is that it's a referendum on reality. Obviously there's a lot of fiction telling and storyline spinning going on out there. But for the most part, what Barack Obama's message is, you know what's going on. I'm not going to try to tell you different. And in the meantime, you have the other campaign, quite surprisingly, tossing out conspiracy theories, from the top of the campaign, which has happened forever, of course, but never really from the presidential and vice presidential candidates so strongly. Because you have to believe Barack Obama must really love terrorists, and any reasonable person knows it's not true.
John Hodgman, author of the new book, More Information Than You Require. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. Next time with cocktails, please.
I'm sorry. I've been working on that with the FCC.
Well, it's your fancy new TV show. You can't go out anymore.